Okay.
Describe yourself briefly first.
Good afternoon. My name is Deva Mishra. I was born in Ratnagiri, Maharashtra, but my parents soon shifted to Delhi, where I did my schooling. I did my Bachelor's of Technology from Delhi Technological University in Civil Engineering. In my final year, I did a major project on wind analysis of tall buildings, which grew my interest towards structures. I did my Master's in Structures from Georgia Institute of Technology, which is the second best civil engineering school in in structural engineering. And after that, I did for 1.5 years. I worked in high-rise buildings, and currently I'm working at Bechtel in Gurugram as a software engineer.
Actually, it is said that the Delhi is in the seismic zone 4.
Yes,
Okay, it is very prone to earthquake, etc. As well as recently also we have witnessed a earthquake, although it was not so severe.
yes,
Few days back at night, I think. Have you observed that?
yes. The earthquake in Nepal, and we had the aftershocks in Delhi.
Yes, yes. Aftershocks in Delhi. So
Yes.
it is generally recommended that there should not be high-rise building, etc.
Okay.
So, what is your take on this issue?
In Delhi, what I have seen is that there's a parking problem. So that's why any 2 or 3 floor building, there is a stilt floor that is built, which technically is a soft story in a building. That's why it is not suggested to build a high-rise building. However, for a large complex, what we can do is we can make a basement parking and have a high-rise building and use IS 13920 for ductile detailing. Delhi is in zone 4, I agree. However, the earthquake that is seen in Delhi are not high. It is in zone 4 because it has many important structures like the parliament building, etc., and home to most of the ministries. So, my take is that high rise buildings can be built. However, things like stilt floor should be banned, like it is done in California.
Okay. So, I want to ask regarding this that seismic zone 4
Yes.
means how much intensity earthquake is expected here, frequently or not so frequently. What is the meaning of these seismic zone 4, 5, etc.?
Seismic zone 4 and 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry. It is based on the frequency of earthquakes, as you said. However, I'm not sure about what historically earthquake has been observed in
Okay,
the
okay.
area.
It is so basically it is decided by the frequency, not about the intensity.
Frequency and intensity both agreed. However,
Okay.
in
I want
Delhi,
to ask one question, please. Say, suppose we are going to compare seismic zone 3, seismic zone 4. There
yes,
is difference of simply frequency, or sometime may it happen that seismic zone 3, although less frequently, but it may witness severe earthquake than seismic zone 4. It may happen or it will never happen.
it will happen, especially due to the climate change. The possibility of it happening is a lot.
Okay. Yes, Badal sir, please continue. Because he is working in the construction of high-rise building, etc. And
Okay.
in the seismic zone also, so I was asking about this.
Good afternoon, Badal.
Yeah. Evam, good afternoon. I can see your profile. You have done your a-
MS.
MS in structural design, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And currently you are working.
Yes.
So, what are your job responsibilities?
Currently, I'm working at Bechtel as a structural engineer. We are working on a Pluto LNG train, which is basically taking the natural gas from the natural reserves and cooling it to liquefy and then to transport it. So, for that, we make a whole train. Currently, I'm working as a connection design engineer for that project. It is a very crucial project as of now, and we need to submit the whole design by December.
So, you are already having a good amount of exposure into construction industry. So, why do you want to join engineering services?
Um, I want to use my exposure in civil and structural engineering to have an impact on the people. My father has also been a civil engineer in Delhi Metro. He has worked on crucial projects like Chawri Bazaar Metro Station, Chandni Chowk, and the JLN Stadium before the Commonwealth Games. Uh,
Okay.
his work inspires me, and working with the Indian government will help me. Will actually get me an exposure and
Are you comfortable in working in all departments?
yes, but my preferential department would be CPWD and CES roads.
I can see you have chosen border roads as your seventh preference. Why so?
I've
Border
chosen
road.
yes. The reason
Okay.
I've chosen border roads as my last preference is that the work that they are doing for the hilly regions, my experience on residential and office does not quite align with that kind of job. First of all, secondly, the job responsibilities is a bit too hectic, and I have not witnessed in that. I've not witnessed in my employment history that kind of a job experience. That's why I could not align myself well with the BRO responsibilities.
But I guess there you will have more exposure, what you are searching for.
Agreed, agreed. And I would learn a lot. So that's why I've put it in my list. There was an option that I do not put it. I have put it. However, other departments like CPWD, CES roads, and water department attracted me
What
more.
if you get order roads only? You will join the department or you will not join?
For sure. That is why I've kept it in my list. I will join it. But again, my employment like experience did not align well. That's why I did not put it in my top choices.
Okay. So they Evam, let's talk about earth resistant structure, earthquake resistant structure. So what are the various techniques through which we can make a structure earthquake resistant?
Okay, so first of all, there are two things that we have to look for. First is analysis, and second is design. In analysis, we have static analysis, the ELF, equivalent lateral force method, where we calculate base shear. For in zone 3, 4, 5, and zone 2 above 15 meters building, we go for dynamic analysis, which involves a response spectrum method and time history method. That is the analysis part. In design part, there is a factor, response reduction factor, that is a very prime factor here. It helps the structure engineer choose where what kind of building we want to make. Do we want to make a brittle building with higher forces to resist, or we want the structure to resist the forces by the help of hinging, by the help of its ductility? If we choose a response reduction factor of high number, like 4 or 5, then we design with IS 13920, and we give the ductile detailing. If not, then we can go for an ordinary frame building. However, the weight of the building and the ductility of building will be low.
So what are the various techniques through which we can ensure this?
Uh,
In our construction, what are the various techniques through which we can make our building more earthquake resistant?
Okay, so as we know, due to earthquake, the building sways. When the building sways, there are high moments in the beam to column joints. So special confining reinforcement can be given to beam column joints. Other than that, since we do not want a brittle failure, and shear failure is a brittle failure, the depth of the beams can be kept low. As per 13920, the D over B ratio, the depth of beam to width of beam, should not be greater than 3.3, and L over D ratio, the span to depth ratio, should not be less than 4. So these are some of the things, some of the techniques where we ensure a ductile failure and not a brittle failure for an earthquake resistant building.
What do you understand by base isolation? Have you heard of it?
Yes. So due to earthquake, there is a ground shaking, and that shaking is transmitted to the building. However, as the name suggests, base isolation, we isolate the building from its base. It can be done by backfilling the sand, by excavating the earth around it and backfilling it by sand, since it is a good base isolator. Other than that, we can also use rubber to isolate the building from the ground shaking.
Okay. So what do you understand by a green building?
Uh, Currently, the time requires us to be environmentally sustainable as well. That's why green building deals with some of the inefficiencies of a building. For example, the lack of material efficiency, the energy that the building requires, the waste that it generates. These kind of things, if we take it into our design and we give the provisions like use of renewable source of energy, disposing the solid waste correctly, and giving a green patch around our building. These kind of things help us to make a green building. Rating can be given by GRIHA, and that helps us reduce the energy impact that our structure has on the environment.
You have might design many buildings. Have you ever designed a green building?
No, I have worked on the IoT part of the building, the temperature, ambient temperature maintenance, and the building automation system. However, I have not worked on the green building. One project that our company did was in Georgia Institute of Technology, where they built the whole building by recycling the timber. They actually asked the laborers from around the area to work there, so they increased the labor employment. They used the the recyclable materials. They gave more spaces, more open areas, so that the lighting can be efficient without any use of artificial source of energy. They have done that kind of work. However, I have not been involved in that project.
What do you understand by carbon credits?
So there are two kind of work that there can be. One, which is a carbon intensive work, and then there's where we have reduced the carbon. So carbon credit is something where any work that is reducing the carbon can have the carbon credits, and it can be given to something is carbon intensive work. Basically, if someone is doing a really well thing on reducing their really good job in reducing their carbon emissions, they are given the credit for it. And the other person who has other entity who have been using a carbon intensive procedure, they need to buy those credits in the as a penalty for having an impact on the environment.
What is the current status of India? Last year, what were the carbon credits earned by India?
I'm not aware of it, so
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. So, sir, you can continue. I'm done. Sir, your mic is mute, sir.
Hmm. You have mentioned that playing tabla in your hobby, bongo drum, congo drum,
Yes.
Hindustani classical vocal music. So, can you explain these complicated terms, bongo and congo drum?
So bongo and congo and tabla. I'll start with tabla because it is close to our history. Tabla comes from the Hindustani classical music, where we have two drums, a smaller and the bigger drum. And the bigger drum is known as duggi. The smaller drum is known as chati, and we use it in the Hindustani classical music. When we talk about bongo and congo, it is similar to tabla. However, the origin is from the Latin music, and the Latin music came to America, and that's why the whole bongo and congo drums they got famous. One of the prominent personalities who plays bongo is
Okay,
Jack Johnson.
yes, actually, what is the material used when we make that surface of the tabla?
That is initially it was goat skin. However, right now there are polymers that are being used in making the skin of the tabla and bongo congo. I'm not really sure about the constituents.
Okay, yes, actually, as you have mentioned that
Yes,
you have been awarded bronze medal
yes,
in this 4 into 25 meters relay race, I think, yeah, na?
yes.
What is this relay race, basically?
So our pool was around 25 meters length, and
Hmm.
in the relay race, there are four members, two on each side of the pool. One person starts and then goes to the other side of the pool and then gives a slap on the other person's hand, and then they start the race from they take that race from the first person, and you
Hmm.
have to cross four laps, one lap each for one person, and we won that race. So that was
So, your hobby, there is swimming also,
yes.
na? Yes, actually, what is the scenario of the swimming in Olympic from Indian point of view?
Uh, Currently, the our famous actor R. Madhavan, his son has done really well in the Asian Games and is a good prospect for Olympics. Sadly, in the previous years, we have not done really well in swimming, particularly. However, the future it looks bright. Many athletes from southern parts of India, like Karnataka, Kerala, they are doing really well. Currently, in the
Actually, my
national,
question is that India,
yes,
basically, it is the land of river, etc. And
yes,
in the village, rural areas, etc., we can see many swimmers. Like
yes.
this, they are crossing the complete river without any protection, etc. And very hastily. Still, why India is underperforming in Olympic? Because it is very natural game of India.
Agreed, sir. So I think that we need to find these talents. The problem doesn't lie with our talent, sir. The problem lies with the talent recognition. We need to find these talent. As you said, we are from the village area. So the sports department needs to find these talents and groom them. Michael Phelps, as an example, used to train 8 hours a day for almost a year without missing any training session. So I agree, this is a very natural sport. However, For competing in a sport like Olympics, we need to train really hard. So we need to groom this talent as well. That's where India is lacking.
Actually, suppose presently we are in the tech business from our point of view as an engineer group platform. You
Okay.
have done a short course, I think, from Harvard Business School
Yes.
online.
Yes.
What is your suggestion to us? Suppose we want to improve this particular tech.
One of the prominent solution is that as I started my course there, the course was very close to the practical application of it. Like they took all the previous examples that we know about the financial recession in 2008, 1921, Great Depression. So I think one of the things is that, and your tech platform has been doing it, is bring students close to the practical application of it. And in India, I think it's very required as well because we gain theoretical knowledge, but even
Mhm.
after experience, we don't know the practical experience of what we have learned. So that would be one of my prominent suggestions.
Okay, lack of practical knowledge, basically, you can say
Yes,
practical exposure rather than the knowledge we can say.
exactly.
Okay, my
Yes,
last question is there that actually you have been a resident of Delhi,
yes,
especially in the South Delhi.
yes,
If you compare South Delhi and Northern Delhi,
yes.
South Delhi is more developed, you can see, from infrastructure point of view. Why not the outer Delhi or North Delhi so far?
So the prominent things that I've seen is that in front of my house there is a segregation at source dumpsters that the South Delhi Municipal Corporation has provided. However, I have not seen these kind of things in North Delhi, especially towards if you go to Northeast Delhi, the Shahadra area or the Dilshad Garden area. Other than that, since the people living in South Delhi are more affluent, I think that is one of the big reasons there is a development in the
There is one more thing.
yes.
What is your suggestion to tackle this pollution? Actually, each and every year there is deterioration regarding the atmosphere point of view, especially in this season, whenever winter is closer.
Yes.
Yes, how can we tackle?
I think there are multiple the provisions that are there. GRAP is there and everything. However, I have two or three major things that I want to point out here. First is point source allocations. Since we have seen in the places like Jahangirpuri and we have Anand Vihar, where we have high pollution due to the construction activity that is going on. So we need to find those point sources and need to find particular measures for those point sources. Second point would be to actually go to the grassroots level. For example, if we have electric vehicle, yes, agreed, we have electric rickshaws as well. However, as I go to Gurugram, I see those rickshaws are do not have the infrastructure to pick and drop people off. That's why there's a lot of congestion which leads to pollution. So on paper it may look like a good idea. However, the implementation is also an important issue. Third is the International Year of Millets that PM Modi has started, which, if implemented, can reduce the amount of paddy and wheat that we are growing. That would reduce the stubble burning and would help us reduce the AQI of Delhi. So these are some of the steps additionally that I would like to suggest.
Okay, yes, Balan sir, please. It is done
The
from you.
only last question I want to ask you, Devam, what do you understand by flexural torsional buckling?
Uh, the flexural torsional buckling. I am not so sure about it. Is it close to lateral torsional buckling? I'm not so sure about it.
Yes, you can take a guess.
Uh, I think it's close to lateral torsional buckling, which is where the beam also goes laterally, and it also goes through a torsion due to its moment about the longitudinal axis. It
Okay.
is majorly seen in bridges, and we can provide K and V frames to resist that lateral torsional buckling.
What is a Windrel girdle? Have you heard of it?
No, I have not heard of it. So I'm sorry.
Okay, done. So they Evam, you can wait for 2 minutes outside. Just we will discuss your feedback and then we will give you a
Sure.
call. Yes, Devam.
Sorry. Yeah.
हाँ, it's okay. So एवं ऐसा था आपका इंटरव्यू आपके हिसाब से?
सर एक चीज जो कि मुझे लगी कि मैं थोड़े अभी भी थोड़े लंबे आंसर्स दे रहा हूँ. आई हैव हैड दिस काइंड ऑफ सजेशन बिफोर. कीप इट क्रिस्प. And secondly, मुझे बस ये लगा कि मैं थोड़ा सा लाइक ज्यादा बातें करता हूँ, आई शुड कीप इट क्रिस्प, ये मुझे मेजरली लगा। एंड मुझे थोड़ा तबला और स्विमिंग वगैरह पर और रिसर्च करना होगा मेरे हॉबीज पर।
हाँ, ठीक था। वैसे तो प्रिपेयर्ड है, थोड़ा और रिसर्च कर लोगे तो बेटर
देखो
ही
एक्चुअली
रहेगा।
जो है ना आपकी हॉबी इतना हटके है, इसके बारे में ज़्यादा तो किसी को पता होता नहीं, वैसे ही बताएँ आपसे,
ओके।
ज़्यादा डेप्थ के बारे में। लेकिन आजकल क्या है ना स्मार्टफ़ोन हर एक के पास होता है, तो एकदम कुछ ना कुछ ढूँढ लेते हैं।
यस सर।
लेकिन ये है कि हाँ, बेसिक नॉलेज रखो, बस वही जो आपने खुद कहा है, मैं भी आपको सजेशन वो दूँगा, आंसर थोड़ा-सा क्रिस्प करो,
यस सर।
ठीक है
ओके।
ना? रुक जाओ, अगर उनको और डिटेल चाहिए होगी, तो खुद आपसे पूछेंगे और डिटेल के बारे में,
ओके।
है ना?
ओके।
ये बस रहेगा आपके याद में।
ओके।
बाकी टेक्निकली तो सॉर्टेड हो, आप काम कर रहे हो तो उसके अराउंड की चीजें आप बता ही देते हो, तो
ओके।
ओके, ठीक था। बाकी तो थोड़ा और काम को प्रिपेयर कर लीजिए कि और जगह क्या क्या काम कर रहे हैं आप। अगर कोई इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट मिल गए जो आप ही की फील्ड के हैं, तब तो वो पूरा ऑर्डर कर लेंगे, आपको ना ग्रिल कर देंगे उसी के ऊपर।
यस सर।
बाकी एक ये तो प्रिपेयर आपने किया भी है कि आप ऑलरेडी इतना एक्सपीरियंस है और फिर भी ईएस ज्वाइन करना चाहते हैं,
हम्म।
तो इसका बेटर ही और अच्छा आंसर प्रिपेयर कर सके तो और अच्छा करिए। बाकी ये आंसर भी अच्छा था जो आपने दिया,
अच्छा।
ये प्रेफरेंसेस के ऊपर भी आपसे सवाल जवाब हो
वो
सकते
अच्छा क्वेश्चन था सर। मैंने बी मतलब ऑब्वियसली सीपीडब्ल्यूडी और सीएस रोड्स टॉप पर क्यों रखे हैं, वो उसका मैंने प्रिपेयर किया था। बट बीआरओ का क्या हो सकता है, आई डिड नॉट वांट टू पॉइंट आउट कि द।
हैं। ठीक दिया आपने आंसर कि आपका जो है जॉब एक्सपीरियंस जो है उसको मैच नहीं कर रहा। अब तो आप प्रोफेशनली बोलोगे ना भाई, आपका अब आपको पता लग गया आपका इंटरेस्ट कहाँ है। तो
यस।
आपने सही आंसर दिया, बीआरओ का एकदम सही है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी उसमें।
ओके सर।
बट ये पर वैसे आपका अच्छा था इंटरव्यू, वी आर ग्रेडिंग यू 115।
ओके।
सर ने भी इनपुट दिया ही आपको, बट जस्ट मैं आउट ऑफ क्वेरी पूछना चाहता हूँ, ऑलरेडी अच्छा कर रहे हो प्राइवेट में, व्हाई डू यू वांट टू लैंड इन इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज नाउ?
तो बेसिकली मैं थोड़ा चाहता था कि यूएस में एक्सपीरियंस पाके इंडिया पर आऊं, बट इंडिया का प्राइवेट सेक्टर सर अभी थोड़ा सा इतना अच्छा है नहीं। लाइक आई हैव बीन वर्किंग ऑन सैटरडे संडेज एज वेल समटाइम्स, सो
नहीं, अगर
इन फ्यूचर।
ऑनेस्टली बताइए सीपीडब्ल्यूडी के अलावा बाकी और कोई डिपार्टमेंट होगा, तो आप जॉइन करेंगे क्या?
सर
इन 2 से अच्छा
सीपीडब्ल्यूडी,
कराइए।
सर सीपीडब्ल्यूडी सीएस रोड सर, ये आई एम एमिंग, बट द सीट्स आर वेरी लेस, सो आई डोंट नो व्हाट विल हैपन। बट हाँ, मैं शायद ज्वाइन ना करूं क्योंकि फिर मैं कोई मतलब नहीं बनता। अदर डिपार्टमेंट्स आई डू नॉट हैव दैट रेंज ऑफ वर्क। इन दोनों में आजकल काफी अच्छा काम चल रहा है, सो दैट वुड बी माय, सॉरी अबाउट दैट।
ठीक है।
और बाकी जो है एक वो स्किल डेवलपमेंट वाला भी एक है पोस्ट, उसके लिए भी प्रिपेयर कर लीजिएगा
वो
आपको।
हट गई। वो
क्यों?
हट गई।
क्योंकि वो हट गया ना अभी, अब नहीं है, ठीक है, पहले
अब
था।
नहीं है।
इस साल
बीच
नहीं
में
है।
जो रिवाइज हुई सीट्स वो हट गया था।
हाँ, ठीक है। बाकी तो इट्स ऑल डन। बस यही, मैं तो यही पूछ रहा था कि आप क्यों इस तरफ आना, पीएचडी के लिए क्यों नहीं फाइट मारना चाह रहे हैं?
सर पीएचडी वाज माय अदर ऑप्शन, बट मैंने सोचा कि बिना एक्सपीरियंस के सर पीएचडी का कोई मतलब नहीं है। एटलीस्ट 5-6 साल तो एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए। मैंने जहाँ अमेरिका में देखा, इवन पीएचडी पीपल, इवन प्रोफेसर्स, दे आल्सो वर्क एज अ कंसल्टेंट इन कंसल्टेंसी फर्म्स, सो इसीलिए मुझे लगता है वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है।
मतलब देखते रहो और अपॉर्चुनिटी ना, इसके अलावा भी मतलब
श्योर।
ये भी मैं एडवाइस कर रहा हूँ। मतलब अच्छा है, इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज इज गुड, बट
श्योर।
अब आपको इतना एक्सपीरियंस हो गया ना, इतना एक्सपोजर हो गया आपको,
श्योर।
अब और भी जगह और ज़्यादा बेटर आई गेस कर सकते हो। बट
अग्रीड।
बी कनेक्टेड, हमसे कनेक्टेड ज़रूर रहिएगा।
श्योर सर।
तो हो सकता है आने वाले फ्यूचर में कुछ स्किल डेवलपमेंट के कोर्सेज आए,
ओके।
तो उसमें हम लोग इंडस्ट्रियल ट्रेनिंग कराएंगे स्टूडेंट्स की, तो हो सकता है उसमें हमें आपकी हेल्प की ज़रूरत पड़े।
Sure, sir. Sure, definitely. And thank
Yeah.
you for taking this initiative. Thanks a lot.
हाँ चलो, एनीवेज, तो दे एवं आपके पास हमारा व्हाट्सएप नंबर तो है ही, 70441।
हाँ, आपका नंबर है। Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ, बी कनेक्टेड ना, मैसेज
Sure,
कर
sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
ऑल
Thank
द
you.
बेस्ट, वन
Thank
वन
you.
फैमिली
Thank you.
प्रॉमिस।